Ugh. Ah, right. I'm never sure when this thing has started and when it hasn't. So, am I on? Can you hear me? Should I start now? Somebody tell me. See, I can't see me, but I know that there's a delay. So, I've got you on the iPad pod here. And oh, I'm there now. So that's it. So I have started, haven't I? Right, ignore the last bit. We'll do it properly now. Good evening, darlings, and a very warm welcome to Wednesday Night Live. And I'm delighted to be here with you once again. I'm also delighted to be having a drink of wine. Very nice indeed. Nicely chilled. How are you, my loves? How has your day been? Who have I got with me? What are we going to talk about tonight? Did you miss the hot lesbian action that you that started the show yesterday? Oh, I've got it. Oh dear. Uh, who have I got? Steve Colgis here. Good evening, Steve. Jimmy Quinn. Good evening, Boaty and all. Barry, that guy from SETI Alpha 5. Good evening to all you Fred the Shed lovers and Boaty. God. I sincerely hope we don't have any lesser radio shows tonight. Barry, you're in luck. Uh, Cheeseburger says the dust. Oh, God, here we go. Uh, General Cheeseburger is with us. And General Cheeseburger has proved himself to be the ultimate master of shithousery across various platforms. I mean, we get a break from him on Facebook at least. He doesn't do Facebook. But I mean, he's turned the WhatsApp community into just an arena of ultimate shithousery, quite honestly, in much the same way, and it is wonderful that he's done here. What's he got to say? The Dustman, right. If you're not in the WhatsApp thing, then you'll have missed some bits, and I'm not going to tell you about them because they're they're quite hurtful. Oh, thank you very much. That is a message from, or that ping was a message from the unknown banker to alert Mustard and I to the fact that funds have been provided to purchase a new car. A new Mustard and Boaty car is being purchased tomorrow. And it's another car that I've got absolutely nothing to do with. I've seen a picture of it, and that's it. I know. So, I mean, I know what it is, but I know, and I know how much it is. I know nothing else about it. It's a mustard thing, and he's going to pick it up tomorrow, getting a lift from somebody, don't know who, probably senior mustard, and that's it. So there's a new car coming, and I know sod all about it. I just sincerely hope that it's in better nick than Fred the Shed. I mean, it's not going to be as good as the Freelander. I mean, that's the best car that we've ever bought, the fabulous James, but then it would be. I chose that one. So there you are. And this new one tomorrow is Mustard's choice. So, we'll see what it's like. I shall hope for the best and prepare for the worst. The dustman, says Cheeseburger, won't play any of that. He's sulking that the WhatsApp group think the Freelander is a heap. I may have told all of the members of the WhatsApp community group to go and fuck a lamppost earlier. I may have done that. But of course, I was just saying it in friendly jest and banter. I wasn't. Skick says they really need to start thinking about the cars they're buying, for goodness sake. Boat should and does know better. Well, as always, Skick, as always, you have got a point. However, the thing with, the thing is what it is. Mustard likes to play with what he likes to play with. So he's going to buy the sort of thing that he wants to buy. He's going to play with it in his own sweet time, in his own lovely yard. And, that's fine. That's fine. I just have to, just fine, great. It is what it is. Now, the point is, if I want to be buying different stock, then that's what I should be doing. I shouldn't be telling Mustard that he's wrong, because you buy in your comfort zone, don't you? Or you buy in your interest zone. And at the end of the day, this is if it's a business, it's a lifestyle business, it's an interest business, it's a hobby that will hopefully pay a few quid. So what I should really do, and what I plan to do, is to try and scrape some money together to get my trade insurance back, and then, just as Mustard buys cars off his own bat and deals with them, there's no reason why I can't do the same from here. There'll still be company cars, but there'll be cars that I choose, and that I deal with. And there's no reason why that couldn't work perfectly well. In fact, you could argue that by doing that, I would be pulling my weight more than I probably am at the moment, because the cars that are based at the yard, they're based at the yard. And I physically really can't get to the yard more than that one day a week. So naturally, Mustard's going to bear the brunt of dealing with them. But thinking about it, and especially with the flat thing happening at the restaurant and car parking being available there, there's no reason, if I can get my trade insurance sorted, there's no reason why I can't just deal with a few cars from here. As I say, they'll still be company cars, but I'll choose them, I'll deal with them, I'll spoodle them. The garage down the road can fix them if they need fixing or servicing or MOTing or whatever, and I can flog them from here. And then we've got a two-prong organisation. So, and then we can have a bit of everything. There'll be the cars that are more projects at the yard, and some nicer cars here, maybe. We'll see how it works out, but that's the way I see it going forward. So, Skip, everything that you say, Skip, and I did say this to you when I replied to a comment, I've not seen you say anything that doesn't have at least a good element of validity. I might not agree with everything that you say, but there is always a good element of validity. And I always listen very carefully to anything you've got to say. Well, say listen. I read it very carefully. I take it on board. Bad Books is here. Mark, good evening. Oh, good evening to you. Oh, God, Cheeseburger's joining Facebook tomorrow. Oh, dear. You want to take over the shithousery of the Facebook group, do you? Who is the shithouse master in the Facebook group? I'll tell you who is the current master of shithousery in the Facebook group. It's Cooperman. Cooperman never misses an opportunity to have a good dig at me. For example, I put a post in the Facebook group saying that I felt I should have some sort of ongoing challenge during the course of this year, 2024. And I suggested that I could visit and travel on every funicular railway in the United Kingdom and do them in alphabetical order. Or, as an alternative, that I could attempt to podger every woman born in 1976 who lives in the UK and who has exactly the same initials as me. So that would be JSPH. And Cooperman, his suggestion for my challenge, although he did accept that it's one that would be impossible to meet, would be that during 2024, I should have all of my cars MOT'd and not crash any of them. That's the sort of comment that... So the Facebook group isn't without shithousery, but it's not... it's not on the same sort of constant level as YouTube and WhatsApp, because Cheeseburger, when it comes to shithousery, Cheeseburger is a machine. I mean, it's like a machine gun with a never-ending stock of ammunition. Cheeseburger is like the Alexander Usyk of shithousery, right? Might not be the biggest puncher in the world, might not be a one punch knockout artist, but he's quick, he's clever, and he just keeps peppering you with shithousery. And eventually, you know, you keep getting pummeled as quickly and constantly as that, and you're just going to go over, aren't you? I mean, the cumulative effect can be even more devastating than the single blow. It's like Deontay Wilder put Fury on his ass, and Fury got back up and outboxed him. Whereas with Alexander Usyk, when he fights Fury, Fury's going to find himself just. It's not going to be like against Wilder, where he has to take the odd right hand around the chops, around the whiskers. It's just going to be a non-stop pelting, and we'll see how he deals with that. My money is very much on Usyk. I say Usyk beats Fury, but we shall see. We will hopefully find out in February. I'm really looking forward to that. Oh, hello, Mustard's here. Project Nigel. Hey, chaps. I didn't really. I didn't realise you were doing a live earlier, Captain. I may have messaged you during your live, so I do apologise if I did. I just didn't realise you were doing one. And unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to watch it. I had to go to work. But I will catch up and watch it either after this or tomorrow. Or I might fall asleep to it or something. Andrew's here. I've a spotty botty. Good evening, Boaty and everyone. I missed the first few minutes. Was there any special intro tonight? No, there wasn't, Andrew. I didn't do one. I am going to do more of them, and there are going to be more bedtime stories as well. I quite enjoyed that intro, and well, I can definitely tell you, I didn't have a chance to sort it out tonight. Didn't have time, but I can tell you that there is more where that came from. I've got quite a good stash of that sort of thing. I've found a good source, and I'm not talking about HP. I couldn't find a lamppost, says Jimmy. Well, at least you tried. Barry says you need to sell some, surely. Ideally, yes. Fucking hell, Cheeseburger. See, this is what I mean with Cheeseburger. It's non-stop. Every comment. Funds provided. Minimum electronic transfer is now £5. Is it a donor car for James? Right. You are all just jealous of James. You're all just jealous, or you're just determined to indulge in shithousery, even when it's clearly inappropriate. You cannot deny that James is a fine-looking car in the best colour, with his 18-inch alloys, which look to be in splendid condition, with his stunning tan leather interior, which is now slightly freer of dog hairs and assorted detritus. I mean, it does look as if it was used as a skip, bless him. But he's a splendid motor carriage, and he will become more splendid. I will take a level of personal responsibility for James, because James was a my choice car, or at least a my suggestion car. And I'm going to take some personal responsibility. I'm also going to go and turn the heating up. I'm cold. There we go. I've ramped the thermostat up to a whopping 19 degrees. 19 degrees. God almighty, I genuinely don't know if it's centigrade or Fahrenheit. Genuinely not a clue. No, I don't know. Centigrade, I think. I don't know. But whatever it is, I've turned the heating up to 19 of them. Because it is a bit nippy. Oh, I better just see. Let's see if I've got enough gas to turn it up. Hold on. Oh. Oh, I'm okay. I've got £4.47 of my emergency credit left, so I can go absolutely mad. I can have a nice warm house tonight. Where did I get to? Oh yeah, cheeseburger. Mustard says, I am editing the caravan video at the moment. Should I carry on or stay here? Well, whatever I say, you'll get a bugger off and edit it, aren't you? I know you are. Cheeseburger, are you the banker? Asked Jimmy Quinn. And Cheeseburger replies, Jimmy, I waste fortunes on new cars. I lose way more, unfortunately. Carlos Fandango says, yesterday you were crying like a baby about the name James and stating that it wasn't going to be called that over your toothless dead body. And now you're calling it the wonderful James, you big div. Well, I was talked around by you, like, wasn't I? You said that James Cook was an intrepid explorer, although I think you might have been getting him mixed up with Thomas Cook. Oh, it's, you have to choose your battles, don't you? You have to choose your battles. And I couldn't think of a better name than James, actually, which is annoying. James May. Yeah. So, sod it, we'll go with James. Paul, my rover, survived the tornado in Staley Bridge, says Steve. Good for it. How do you fuck a lamppost? Asked Cheeseburger. There are no obvious signs of entry. Mr. Boaty's pottering loop. There is an obvious sign of entry. They have an access door, don't they? So that you can get at the innards. They used to, anyway, when I was a boy. And Jimmy says, well, Cheeseburger, Boaty is tall. Oh, Simone is here. Hooked on Classics. It's you lot again. It really is. Carlos, says Cheeseburger, they've called it James because it's worth 4K. Glad you're here. I can't keep this up on my own. Oh, God. Oh, Cheeseburger and Carlos Fandango are going to be tag teaming shithousery. Oh, bloody hell, Mark. Cheeseburger, he's probably used to a sheep being tethered to said lamppost. Yeah. That's what we call a leisure centre in Wales, a sheep tied to a lamppost. I've heard them all before. Run, Simone, it's going downhill already. Steve says, my neighbour's car was covered in roof tiles. Crushed. Cracked windscreen. A mere metre away from mine. Carlos says, Cheeseburger, I haven't caught Mustard's video yet, so I haven't seen quite how crap this shed is. It's not crap. But I'm taking your word for it. Plus, Boaty is involved, so it must be crap. It's not crap. It's fantastic. It's fabulous. You're all going to be laughing on the other side of your faces, you lot. It's a magnificent thing. And it's already proved its value. James has already proved that he is better than Fred the Shed. Because we asked Fred the Shed, would you mind awfully popping Mr. George Roger Boaty in his new permanent position? And Fred said, well, I'll try. I'll have a go. I'll have a bash at it. I've done half of it. No, fuck it. I'm dead. And he committed suicide. Whereas James, Mustard said to James, Mustard said, I say, James, would you mind awfully, if you would you mind awfully just giving me a hand with the old caravan, what? And James said, of course, my dear chap, Of course. Pop him onto my towing hitch and I will take care of it. And James did exactly that. And I apologise for the spoiler alert for Mustard's video, but James got Roger Boaty into position all on his own. Mustard didn't even drive him. He just put the keys in, started the engine. James did it all. That's the kind of car that James is. James is the kind of friend that you want. Not like, I mean, quite honestly, now, I don't want to knock Fred the Shed. I'm sure that at some point he was a reasonably okay car, probably just when he left the showrooms or whatnot. But honestly, inviting Fred the Shed into your life is like going out onto the street, finding a very, very alcoholic, drunk tramp, bringing him into your house and saying, would you like to be my best friend and live with me? And he's going to say, yeah, I'll be your best friend. And then you wake up the next day and he's vomited everywhere, stolen all of your money, stolen your cigarettes, and shat in the freezer. Well, that's what you've done. That's what Fred the Shed is. He's an alcoholic tramp who's just going to ruin your life. Whereas James the Freelander is the kind of absolute, I mean, for a start, right? James is higher class than Fred. I mean, Fred. Fred is a working class name. Fred is a character in Coronation Street. And then when Fred is known as Fred the Shed, you know that he's the worst character in Coronation Street. You know what you're getting with a Fred the Shed. Whereas James is a posh name. Now, not an uber tough, but nonetheless, a class above a Fred. I mean, James, the Land Rover, and let us not forget, Her Gracious Majesty Queen Elizabeth II drove a Land Rover, specifically a Freelander. And if it's good enough for her, it's good enough for us. God rest her, and all who sail in her, etc. So, a Land Rover HSE, top of the... I'm totally going to sneeze. I'm totally going to sneeze. I can feel it coming on. I can't control it. I can't quell it. Or can I? Can I manage to... Well, I think I'm holding it off for the moment, but it is somewhere just at the back of the old Pontius palate, and it might come forth at any moment. The point that I'm trying to make, if you'd let me get a word in edgeways, is that James is, well, quite honestly, James is upper middle class and Fred is lower working class. And you just know what you're going to get, right? You invite Fred round for steak and chips with a beautiful sauce au poivre, right? Fred's going to put tomato ketchup on it, whereas James would just take a bit of his perfectly cooked steak, spear a bit of rocket onto it, waft it in the sauce au poivre, and say, this is absolutely divine. And, that's what you want in your life. You want a James. You want somebody who's, cultured, not uncouth, decent in terms of appearance, not going to make the neighbours look askance at you, but he's also a doer. And that's why he's called James, like James May. He can do things, he's capable. And he did a thing today. And there was no fuss, no drama. He didn't do the dying swan like Fred the alcoholic, who, asked to do a little bit of work in response for being kept alive. And he just said, fuck it, and fell over. James didn't. James got the job done. We are blessed with James, and if I wish nothing else for you, I wish that you all have a James in your life, because you all deserve it, apart from Cheeseburger and Carlos Fandango. Obviously, you deserve Reds. Anyway, where did I get to? I'll tell you about today in a moment. There's not much to tell you, quite honestly. Diddly-do, diddly. Oh, a message held review. This could be filth. I'm not reading that out, Cheeseburger. Um, yeah, it's going downhill quicker than a rabbit on a promise or a sheddy Freelander. I'm not reading that out. Thank God my wife was born in December 1975, says Cheeseburger. Well, does she have the initials JSPH? Boaty, asks Simone. Who is the most sarcastic person you know? Good question. The most sarcastic person I know. Well, if I can include fictional characters, then it's that priest out of Father Ted. Otherwise, it's Mustard. Mustard can be quite biting when he chooses to be, in a very amusing way. I can't think of anybody, certainly not that I know in real life, that is more sarcastic than Mustard. Um, Although Sabana at work, he can be quite edgy. Thanks for the update, Jimmy, says Carlos. Taken as read then. It's a piece of shit. No, it is fantastic. John Marazzi says the swollen hood intro story last night was hilarious. More bedtime stories, says Ivor Spotty Botty. That'll drive a couple of people off the edge. Skick says, Boaty, jokes aside, you're a clever man that's wasting your time buying someone else's headache. Use the talent and experience you have and stop being old before your time. This year, forget the restaurant. Oh, now that's a bold call, isn't it? Forget the restaurant. Dear me. Oh, that is a bold call. Ah. I'll be honest with you, Skick. I'm a little bit torn. I am a little bit torn. Part of me, the old dealer in me wants to come out. And there is a bit of the old frustrated dealer in me that would love to come out and would love to start dealing a few modern classics that interest me and doing it in my way. What I personally think is the proper way, the old school way. But also a big part of me kind of loves what we're doing, and I quite enjoy buying the sheds when I don't have to directly deal with them. And I like seeing Mustard getting pleasure and satisfaction. And I do like the idea, his ethos of the unloved cars being saved. And I do buy into all of that, which is why I was saying that maybe the way forward is this two-pronged approach. Mustard will do his thing, which, along with me and the unknown banker, and I'll do my thing with maybe some different types of cars and do them in a different way, which is a little bit more me. And, there's no reason why that couldn't work perfectly well together. I just need to scrape together 500 quid for the deposit on the old trade insurance. Bedtime Stories, say Simone. A good album by Madonna. Oh. Gosh, Skick is on one. It's beneath you. Concentrate on the cars and the know-how you have. God, should I? Oh, bloody hell. Should I just totally forget about the restaurant and try and get back into the car game properly? Oh, that would be a bold call at this moment in time. That really would. I occasionally have little flights of fancy. Um, there's always, and I must say, my friend Roger the Cabin Boy, as he's known on Facebook, or Tim to give him his real name, he and I are always looking out for car pitches that come up, and he will always ping me when a car pitch comes up for rent. And I always keep a lookout, and I see a car pitch and I think, oh, I'd love that, or that wouldn't work, or oh, that one's closing down. I wonder how much that would be, and I've thought about doing something with David down at Ladywood Garage and renting his forecourt space and retailing cars from there. So I do think about this sort of thing, Skick, um, and not and that would be instead of the restaurant, but it wouldn't be instead of Mustard and Boaty. I'll be in Mustard and Boaty forever. But I think going forward, it would be more productive and more interesting and provide better content for me. Mustard gets plenty of content for his channel. I don't get so much from the Mustard and Boaty stuff. Whereas if I was doing a bit more here, then it would be hopefully increased profit, increased business, more content for me, so better for the channel. And also I'd be pulling my weight more with the company. So I wouldn't just be working for the company 1 day a week, I'd be working 7 days a week. So, there is going to be movement in that direction, slowly but surely. I'm not reading that out, Jimmy. I'm not reading that out either. James moved Roger Boaty should be called Hunt the Shunt. Oh, yeah. I forgot about James Hunt. Now, there you are. There you are, you see. Glamorous, playboy, podgered anything that moved, and if it didn't move, he podgered it until it did. Existed on champagne, but I mean, admittedly, he died in his early 40s, mid 40s, but what a life he had. There you are, you see. Fred the Shed's not getting any action. Who's going to shag Fred the Shed? Nobody. But the lady cars would be queuing up for Hunt the Shunt, our James with his tan leather interior and 18-inch alloys. I mean, God, who wouldn't? Is James the Freelander, asks Andrew, the same as Furious Driving's Matt Hippo? He was after all those head and tail light guards. No, it's not the same. Matt's Hippo is a pre-facelift Freelander one, and James, the delectable, wonderful film star, he's a facelift Freelander one. So better, in other words. And the thing with those light guards is they're not easily swapped over, or realistically, it's impossible to swap them over because they're screwed into both bodywork and. I'm so sorry. They're literally screwed into both bodywork and lenses. So once they're in for life, unless you want to be left with a load of random holes in your car. You don't have to go out in the street to find an alcoholic tramp on this channel, says Carlos. Carlos is on form tonight. Oh, and Cheeseburger says, Andrew, and that monumentally failed its MOT, talking about Matt's Hippo. Those crappy plastic trims hide all the rot. Not on Boo. Not on Boo. Not on my Miss Boo. And not on James either. You see? Good car buyer. Boaty, you're obsessed with talking about Fred, says Simone. I'm really not. Am I? James is chav, poacher spec with his dodgy stickers and LED spot lamps, says Mark. Remind me, says Carlos, who the fuck is James? Is he the Shed or the crappy Freelander? I'm getting confused. James, it's more like Jimmy Savile. God. Oh dear. What a rant. I am James, says Jimmy F500, but silver is not my colour. I don't like it. Oh dear. Alas, we had a James, says Carlos, but he blocked us. We're Jamesless. Dear. I can't read that out. Oh dear, dear, dear. You'll have to read these for yourself. Simone needs to go to sleep. Work is required. I'm pinky tomorrow. So good night, Simone. Thanks for popping in. Right, let's tell you about today then, shall I? Today is really nothing or very little to report. I restarted the daily diary, so I edited and uploaded a daily diary. And then I started work on yesterday's lunch vid, and I had the worst nightmare. I'm still having it. I started work on that at about 12 o'clock. It's now almost midnight, 12 hours later, and it's still not uploaded. Um, and bear in mind, this is a video that I famously don't edit. So how hard can it be? Well, as it turns out, quite hard, and it's partly my own fault. Now, because I was shitting myself about ballsing it up yesterday, was it yesterday? God, it was yesterday, wasn't it? I did a 2-camera film. So I put 2 cameras on it. On the basis that if one if I pressed the wrong button on one, I'd have the other one, or one would probably have a slightly better angle or slightly better sound. I mean, it would no wonder James was doing that all the time. It was, it was hysterically amateurish. I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. I don't have any equipment. I just banged a bloody iPhone up in a crappy little tripod, didn't I? Didn't even put a microphone on the table. Mustard did for his video. Yeah, incredibly amateurish. And but what that meant is that and the lunch videos are long. And the biggest problem is this iPad that I'm still working on. I haven't transmuted onto doing all of my work on that thing over there, the MacBook. Yeah, I'm still doing it on the iPad because, I'm resistant to change because I'm very old. And a year last October, when I got this thing, I did the penny pinching bit because I'm skint, and I got the cheapest one, which is the 64K memory one. And that was a massive, massive, massive mistake because it means that you're on the edge all of the time in terms of memory capacity. So I've got 2, and the lunch videos are long, as you know. You've probably skipped through more than one. You know how long they are. You're talking about over an hour. And I've suddenly got 2 of them, which takes up a lot of space. So I've got to get them both into the edit suite, which means downloading them from iCloud. They were on the phones that they were filmed on, right? They go from there to the iCloud, which is somewhere in, I don't know, near Mars. Not a problem on the iPhones. They've got a good memory. But then they've got to be downloaded onto this so that they can go into the edit suite. And that's where we start getting the problem because they just film the capacity. So I've got 2 of them. Now, I did the edit. There's not much of an edit on the lunch video. As you know, it's just doing the intro, the outro, bunging in the music, putting on the ending, and putting in the explanatory interval decally thing. So that's not difficult. And I did that relatively easily. And so then I've got the finished product. But until that is downloaded from the edit suite back to the iPad, the finished product, I can't get rid of the original videos. So now I've got 3 of these damn things. I've got the 2 that were from the 2 cameras plus the finished product. And I need to download the finished product from the edit suite onto the iPad so that I can then upload it to YouTube. Right? Not possible. Just not possible. And it's a nightmare because when you press the download thing, it just downloads it or tries to. And when it's a really long video, as Mark on Motoring will tell you, it takes a long time for it to download. And then at the end of the download process, not at the beginning, you'd think it would tell you straight away, don't download this, you haven't got room. At the end of the download process, it just flashes up. So you wait half an hour, 40 minutes, whatever, and it flashes up, cannot export movie, not enough space. So you think, oh shit. And you try and clear up space on your iPad. And I must have done that 5 or 6 times. And each time it failed. I've deleted. So I've ended up having to delete stuff that I use. Like I've had to take Facebook off. I've had to take various apps that I use on a all day, every day. I've had to delete them off the iPad to try and download this pissing video. Oh, absolute bloody nightmare. And ironically, the app that was taking up most of the memory was taking up 15%. On its own, it was taking up 15% of the entirety of the memory of this iPad. That app that was taking up all of that was the Edit Suite. And that's the one I can't download because that's the one I've got the finished product on. So I was tearing my hair out with this all afternoon. Finally got it done just before I had to leave for work. And it is now uploading to YouTube as we speak. So it was a nightmare. And it will go up tomorrow. Channel members will see it immediately, and then it'll go public in the 1919 slot tomorrow. Oh, and there's another problem that didn't even occur to me until I started editing the video. And that is, we were filming in a pub. Now, when I was actually there having lunch, I'm listening to Mustard and I'm listening to James. What I'm not listening to is everything going on around me. But once I start editing, I hear everything, don't I? Christmas music or whatever music, background music, playing in the pub. So that's going to get a copyright, isn't it? Which is going to mean that the video can't be monetized. So what could have been potentially, given that it's got James in it, what could have been a well-viewed video, now I strongly suspect can't be monetized. I mean, even looking back, there's there wouldn't be anything I can do about it. I can't go up to the pub and demand, turn your music off, please. You can't do that. It's not on. And would I have still done the video anyway? Of course I would, because I'd do it for my own pleasure. Hopefully you will enjoy watching it, and I might pick up a few of James's subscribers, and Mustard might too. Who knows? So obviously I would still have done it anyway, but you know, if I could have made a fiver off it as well, that would have been nice. And I don't think that's going to happen now. Now, perhaps that's my stupid fault for not organising a decent microphone, which would have just picked up us rather than the whole background noise of the pub. But whatever. Whatever. Where did I get to? Oh, we were saying good night to Simone, weren't we? That's right. Remember the date, says Cheeseburger, 3rd of January 2024. Boaty said the Freelander had no rot. Hope he's correct. Well, it had an MOT, Cheeseburger, so it can't be as bad as Hippo. I mean, I'm not saying it's got no rot, but it's had a recent MOT, so how bad can it be? Good night, or any update from John, asked Barry. Not since last night, no. Bless him. That's pretty crushing news, isn't it? But, you know, there could still be light at the end of the tunnel, couldn't there? Okay, the tumor is increasing in size, but they want to get him in, they want to get it out. So let's hope that can happen. Good call, Barry, says Cheeseburger. Haven't seen John today in WhatsApp either. He's probably going to have a fair bit on his mind, isn't he? After getting the news yesterday. I mean, it's going to be sobering and scary enough at the best of times, but when it comes after a couple of days of not having any issues and having a drink and having a laugh, that's a bit of a double whammy. God, life really isn't fair sometimes, is it? It really isn't fair. But again, it's a bit like the film with James. Life isn't fair, but what would you do? Would you choose not to have had one? I don't think we would. I certainly wouldn't. I guess you just have to accept that there's going to be a lot of sour in with the sweet, and when it comes and when it hits you, you've just got to crack on and take it like a whatever. Hey all, says Ross, Dino Dad, Dinosaur Dad used to be. A very tired hello after a 4 a.m. mustard live. It's now 10:30. God, was it 4 a.m. for you down there? How did you wake? Were you awake at 4 a.m.? Or have you got some mustard alert where, I don't know, you've got an employee living with you who says, mustard is live, and shakes you and wakes you up? Oh, Classic Wheels Wales was present. Was good to hear from Mike. That is good. Mike does pop into the WhatsApp group. Title for your lunch video: Never work with children and amateurs. It's a good title, but don't forget to title this video as well. That is still your job. I just keep forgetting to mention it. Somebody came up with a great video title last night. Starred in a reasonably priced pub, and I thought that was genius. And I used it for the daily diary. I can't use that or cheeseburgers for the lunch video because they're going to have a generic title. The playlist, I mean, obviously there's a playlist, Mustard and Boaty Do Lunch. And this is going to be a new playlist for these videos. And the playlist title is going to be Mustard and Boaty Do Lunch with ... And that's going to be the playlist title. And then the video titles will just simply be Mustard and Boaty Do Lunch with ... And then whoever it is. And that's going to be their like brand or whatever. I mean, it sounds a bit poncy for a crappy homemade video saying it's got a brand, doesn't it? But I'm looking forward to doing the rest of them. And I think they will definitely work better in the caravan than doing them anywhere else. The caravan lends an element of ridiculousness to it. I love the idea of trying to get somebody quite well known and shoving them into a 1980s two-berth caravan with a cheap takeaway. Mustard and I are more in our comfort zone. You've got no problems with background music or noise or that sort of thing. I know where to stick my iPhone. So I'm quite looking forward to doing the next lot in the caravan. I don't know who is going to be next, by the way. I need to ping a message to Mark on Motoring because I can't remember when he said he was free. I'm still waiting to hear from somebody that you don't know, actually. The Taxman. The Taxman has agreed to come on, and I don't think you lot know him. He's been a friend of mine for a while, but he doesn't come on to YouTube or do the YouTube thing. I mean, what can I tell you about him? He's the guy that owns. He's the guy that owns Tyson Fury's classic Mini. Bought that off him. He's a car dealer, but he deals in real exotica. So, I mean, his daily smoker. Well, I'm not sure what it is at the moment, but his daily smoker was a Rolls Royce Phantom, and he deals with some amazing stuff. He'll have some stories to tell us. And he's not a million miles away. He's based in Leeds. So he's agreed to come on and do one. And that'll be he's a really nice guy as well. I've met him before. I've actually had lunch with him before. Mustard doesn't have a clue who he is. But that's one that I'll really look forward to. A message held review from Skik. Age is a cruel thing. A girl I know, Cheryl, a few days ago, not seen her for 20 years. She used to be stunning, great pair of tits, great figure, and really good looking. Age has destroyed her. That's a bit bloody harsh, isn't it? That's a bit bloody harsh. But age has certainly destroyed me. I used to be quite a good looking bloke. God above, look at me now. But as the famous saying goes, never begrudge growing old, because think of the alternative. And there's a lot of truth in that. Don't forget to like, says Jimmy. Did any jump into Rover Joe's life? Oh, I didn't know he did one. Cheeseburg says, Jimmy, I'm not liking until he agrees the Freelander is crap. The Freelander is amazing. You wait until I do a video on it next Monday. Oh, yeah. I'm going to take it for a drive. I'm going to stroke it. I'm going to get personally involved in that car. I'm honestly jealous that Mustard gets to valet it, because that is a car that I actually enjoy valeting cars, believe it or not. You might not think so, but I do. And I would have loved to have valeted that. I get the same satisfaction that Mustard gets from, from transforming a car from a heap of filth into something absolutely stunning. But we obsess over different things. Mustard will obsess over the paintwork and paint rectification and all of that, whereas I don't. Get it clean, get it polished, get a good layer of wax on it. That'll do for me. But then I obsess over the interior, because I figure the exterior, that's for other people. The interior is for you. And I've spoken about this before. That's where we're so different. I couldn't cope with the way that Mustard has his cars, because I couldn't cope with that lack of attention to detail on the interior, and admittedly I obsess over daft stuff like, dressing the car with the correct period cassette tapes, obsessing with the onboard gramophone, having the handbook wallet in a really, all of that sort of nonsense. But anyway, horses for courses. Cheeseburger says, talking about the iPad storage, delete your pictures of Bernard. That'll sort it. It won't, because my pictures of Bernard are in a shared secret album, which means that they live in the cloud, not on my iPad. So, and I do pay for iCloud storage. And a lot of my stuff lives in the cloud, and the idea is you can just download it as and when you need it. And that includes my pictures of Bernard and all of my other pictures of ladies. I think aging is worse for women since, say, Skik. Although I do think Boat would still shag her, though. Yeah, I probably would. Probably would, Skik. Today's Hub and Up video was interviewing Multiple YouTubers at the Great British Car Journey. Oh, okay. Um, Pornhub, X Hamster usually take up a lot of memory. Well, they might do, but with the exception of finding stuff to play to you lot, I don't do porn. I've talked about this before. Does nothing for me. Not my thing. So none of those websites will be taking up space on my iPad. And I never have done porn other than making it myself. Never. All of my life, even when I was a kid, never into porn. Just no. I mean, people enjoy it. If people enjoy it, that's fine. Let them crack on. Not for me, for whatever reason. Annoying that all these places that play music constantly and pay nothing allow YouTube to make things so difficult for creators, says John. Well, that's a point. Carlos says you'd rather go through all of that than just learn how to use the MacBook. Seems sensible. Oh, it's yeah, okay, it's not sensible. That's just me being slightly resistant to change. And it's also to do with me not understanding how to do stuff, right? And I'm still confused over this. Now, on the iPad, I download apps, right? And I use the app. Like my edit suite. I've actually got two edit suites. How do I do that on the MacBook? Can I get an app? And I did research this, and I didn't understand what it told me. So let's say I wanted to. I use two edit suites. One is the basic iMovie that is free from Apple, and the other is a paid-for thing called LumaFusion, which is apparently the best edit suite that you can get to use on an iPad. So can I use that on the MacBook? And if so, how? How do I get an app onto a computer? I don't understand that, and I haven't managed to figure it out yet. MOT advisory on James. It's a bit of a heap. Nonsense. No, it's not. Video title: The Germans bombed our chip shop. Oh, I like that. I like that. Russ says, I actually got carried. Got carried away watching Harry's Garage until 3ish. I'm a huge fan of Harry's Garage. I have become a huge fan of Harry's Garage. I didn't have a clue who the guy was. I didn't know anything about the magazine that he edited or owned or whatever. And I've never seen any of his Harry's Farm things. But I love his Harry's Garage videos. I really do. I found them completely by accident when I was doing some research on one particular car for reasons that I won't bother you with. Um, and I just think they're great. He's done a couple of videos on cars that I've actually owned, which I found particularly interesting because I could sort of have an opinion on his opinion, and it's like an informed opinion. So I've actually owned the things, and there are other cars that I've driven that I can have an opinion on, like the Testarossa. Never owned one, but as I mentioned on yesterday's lunch video, Testarossa was the second car that I sold professionally. My first professional car sale was an Austin Healey Frog Eye Sprite. Number two was a 1987 Testarossa. And I drove, I've driven Testarossa, so I can have an opinion on it. But I love Harris Garage. I love the whole thing about it. I love his style. I love the fact that he films quite simply, just with his son and with his wife, and yet manages to get really good footage. I love his cars. I couldn't cope with the fact that all of his cars are different colours. That seems like madness to me. But if I had to pick one, I would have to say that Harry's Garage is my favourite YouTube channel. And if I could meet and have lunch with any one YouTuber, it would be Harry Metcalf. You should do a lunch in the caravan with you both dressed in pajamas, with the bed made up, and call it the midnight feast. That's a good idea, actually. Okay, I've missed out on something here. Cheeseburger says 4 a.m. and Ross is awakened by Paddington stirring. And then Mark says, Messerschmitt or a fucker. And Cheeseburger says, you remember the sketch as well. Yeah, I don't recognise that sketch. You've got me for once. Oh, start saying good night. Amazingly, it's already midnight. Mark says daily James the Freelander for a week from next week to prove his worth. Could be a good sales advert, but probably not. I would gladly daily James. I would gladly daily James. And depending on what Mustard's plans for him are, I might daily James. I would gladly tax him for a month and use him. It would be interesting to do a back-to-back on two Freelanders of the same age and spec, one of which is two-wheel drive and one of which is four-wheel drive. It might even persuade me to take the prop shop. Fucking hell! To take the prop shaft off Miss Boo. But I'd love to daily James. I would actually love to have James for a week and just do some finishing touches to him, do some really detailed valeting on the inside, dress him. I'd love to put some. I'd love to put some really good hide food on the seat. Well, clean the seats properly first. Feed them with some really good hide food. Source stereo and sort the stereo out so that all looks a lot better. And give them a proper assessment, really. But I am planning to do a proper video on him on Monday. That's going to be my mission. Paint rectification on the Freelander. I'd use a Brillo pad. Oh dear. Barry would be happy to do a virtual lunch sometime. Ah, that would be interesting. Your home videos would be a collection, says Ross, of clips of women going, Jesus Christ, what am I supposed to do with that? Oh, it's 1 minute past midnight on Thursday, the 4th of January. Happy birthday to me. And that's Cheeseburger. Happy birthday, Cheeseburger. Many, many happy returns to you. And Skick says it's my birthday today as well. We've got a double birthday in the house. Well, that'll be tomorrow night's live, won't it? We'll do a happy birthday live. It's a bit late to start doing it now, but I hope you both have a fantastic birthday and many, many happy returns. Cheeseburger says, Harry reviews a car. This Freelander used to belong to Boaty. I wouldn't even have it on my farm. I'd rather have Fred the Shed. Bollocks. Bollocks. He's got a knackered old Range Rover. Harry would love James. He's going to restore that old Range Rover of his, isn't he? I love his voice as well. He's got a really soothing, really listenable to voice. And my favourite video of Harry's, seems weird calling somebody I don't know by their first name, as if we're friends. My favourite video, and I've watched it over and over again, is the early two-wheel drive Lamborghini Diablo, because that's a car that I am fascinated with. It's a car that obviously I know loads about the Countach, but I know, and I do pronounce it Countach rather than Countach. as he does because I speak Italian. um, and I feel that I should know more about the Diablo, but I've never even, I don't think I've ever even seen one in real life, let alone driven one. And that's on my bucket list, to drive an early Diablo and see just how crazy they are compared to Countach. Um, I could never really be comfortable in a Countach. Probably nobody of my height could, but they were just an uncomfortable car. Full stop. You know, you've got no vision is crap. The gear change was crap. The steering was crap. The brakes were crap. I mean, it was just a car that tried to kill you whilst making you simultaneously very uncomfortable. Diablo looks as if it's still an uncivilized, hairy bastard that tries to kill you, but at least you can do it with a modicum more comfort. And birthday. Skick is 57 today. Born on the 4th of the 1st, 67. So happy birthday, Skick. I hope you have a great day. And Cheeseburger, 2 years older than Cheeseburger. So Cheeseburger is 55 by my calculations today. Happy birthday, Cheeseburger. And congratulations to you both on being older than me. Ah. Oh, I've just had a little notification to say the lunch video has finally, thank you FSM, has finally uploaded to YouTube. So all I need to do tomorrow is to write the description, do a thumbnail, and it'll be good to go. So I'll do the daily diary first. Oh, heads up, tomorrow's daily diary is shit because I haven't done anything. So all it is a bit of me driving to work I took Minge Bag. I took Minge Bag tonight for various reasons. So it's going to be a crap daily diary, just me driving to work and back. So, you know, don't get excited about it. But on the upside, you will now get the lunch video tomorrow. And you might think that's crap as well. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'll be totally honest with you. I've not watched it. I never do. I haven't actually watched it. I'm not sitting through an hour of that. I mean, I was there at the time. So I've got a vague idea of what went on. And I've watched the beginning and I've watched the end because those are the two bits that I do edit. But the hour in between the beginning and the end, I haven't watched them. I've got no idea if it's any good. I've got no idea if the sound quality is any good. I've got no idea if anything is any good. But there you go. I'm glad we did it. I enjoyed it. It was lovely to meet James. He probably thinks I'm the biggest twerp known to man, and he'll probably never speak to me again. But I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad the video is there. And I enjoy it. If the rest of it is like the beginning, then it'll be good viewing in a car crash kind of way, because honestly, the beginning is just me and Mustard being completely useless, and James just genuinely, not for effect, just genuinely going, fucking hell. And there is right at the beginning, then Mustard said, are you regretting this yet, James? And with complete sincerity, he said, yes. And then at the end, when we're sort of saying goodbye, he sort of said, he just sort of went, yeah, thanks, guys. And just wanted to. So there you go. It is what it is. I hope you enjoy a bit of it. Video title: No Porn, The Last Temptation of Boaty. And the happy birthdays are all now coming out. The only thing that would bug me about Fred, says Barry, and good evening, Barry, is the dent in the back rear quarter. So you wouldn't be bothered about the broken seat and the seat that you can't move to get into your own position, and the complete lack of roof lining, and there's a lot more that would bother you. Kevin Hughes says the iMac will have iMovie preloaded, and the other app stroke programs or equivalent should be available from the App Store. But I don't know how to get to them. I don't understand how to get to them. The screen, it's got nothing on it. On my iPad, they're there, and I just tap them. I don't know how to get to them on the MacBook. Harry spent many tens of thousands restoring an XJC. Bit of a difference, says Cheeseburger. Yeah, and he converted it to manual. Now that I can't get on board with. That should have stayed automatic. I've owned an XJC. I've owned a couple, actually. I've owned a 6 and a 12. And an XJ should be automatic. End of story. Full stop. The best birthday present for me and Skip would be seeing the Freelander scrapped. Fuck you, Cheeseburger. When I come down to have a drink and a meet up with you, and I'm gonna, believe me, I'm gonna, and I'm gonna bring Neil and hopefully John, I'm coming in the Freelander. And when you get drunk, I'll hold you against it and tickle you until you admit that you love it. Hey, chap, says Mustard. He's back from his editing. Had his new video. He drives a £302,000 Lambo through his field, says Russ. I saw that. That's not a new video. I saw that about 2 months ago. Brilliant video. I really enjoyed that one. And what an interesting idea. Sounds ridiculous, actually works. I hope I'm not the oldest on here, says Jimmy. I'm sure you're not. Stephen S. Paul says, and good evening, Stephen S. Paul. The boss has a pair of Miura SVs. One's a 69 and the other is a 71. Don't do much for me. I like my De Tomasos a bit more. God, I love a Miura. Oh, that's my other favourite video I've had is the Miura video. Oh, God, any kid of my age is going to love a Miura. You know, growing up with the Italian job. That's fantasy stuff. In real life, for me, it's always the Espada. I can't think of a car that excited me more than the Espada. And again, mine was a Series 3, which I think are the best. Automatic. And it was, honestly, the Espada, which is sword, by the way, means sword. It's something that you need to see in real life, because until you see it in real life, until you stand by one, you don't understand. Because you stand up, your waist is here, the Espada, the roof is below your belt. And that is just amazing. And it's got the most incredible interior. Certainly the S3 did. All your videos are shit, says Jimmy. Oh, well, that's very kind. I have to watch a lunch video, says Mustard. Well, somebody should. I haven't. Mustard says, James said you were an interesting man. Well, that could be taken 2 ways, couldn't it? You know, it could be a... that could be in, gosh, that was a really interesting man. Or it could be, so what did you think about it? Well, he was interesting. But doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I like James, and I'm glad that lunch happened. So that's all good. And this will amaze you, but quite a lot of people that I've encountered don't like me. So I've learned to be okay with that. Oh, hello. Oh, now then. Okay. You were asking for an update from John. We have one. Oh, okay, right. It's a little bit It's a little bit, I've forgotten the word, cryptic, that's the word. Hey Jason, I was messaging Mustard earlier and he calmed me down. Pardon the language, I was fucking fuming and angry, but he calmed me down. John. So there you go. That is your John update. And Mustard, well done. Well done, mate. Don't know how you calmed him down or what you calmed him down from, but jolly well done. Where did I get to? Ivor Spottybody says, so we have to sit through an hour of footage for you instead. Well, yeah, you do, because I did it in real life. I was there. I mean, admittedly, I got a meal out of it, which you lot won't necessarily, but I will watch it. I will watch it. In all honesty, I just didn't have time. I always watch the lunch videos back. I always watch them because they always amuse me. This one is a little bit different. It's not me and Mustard arsing about in the caravan. We didn't ask each other about how much we would charge to let Donald Trump podger us or anything like that. We were quite well behaved, but of course I will watch it. I just didn't have time, and it's kind of a matter of principle. It's become a matter of principle now that I don't edit the lunch videos apart from the intro and the outro. And in all honesty, if I watched the whole of it, I would want to edit it. And I'm going to address something now because I was thinking about this. And it was a question that James asked me why I started the YouTube channel. And I've realized what part of it is. And Mustard will call me a liar. And you might be surprised by this. The reason I started a YouTube channel, now I truly think about it and look back, I told you that I discovered the iMovie app when I was wanted to put pictures of me and Bernard together to some music, and I found this app. Didn't know it existed before. And then I discovered that you can do films as well as still pictures. What I love more than anything, I'm not saying that I do it well, but what I love more than anything about YouTube, with the exception of you guys, you're the best thing. But what I love about the furtling of YouTube more than anything, editing. I love editing. I genuinely love editing. I enjoy it. I get a massive kick out of doing it. And when I get it right, or get it right in my mind anyway, it gives me an incredible kick of satisfaction. And when I was thinking about this, I suddenly realized that everything I've done on YouTube, I've done it so that I can edit. I just love editing. That's the joy of it. And probably my ideal career would be editing other people's videos, because I find it difficult to create the content myself. And I don't think that I'm particularly good at it. Well, in fact, I don't think I'm good at it at all. Mustard is brilliant. I'm not. I can do a live stream. Okay, I can do a live. But I really struggle doing videos. I feel really self-conscious trying to do them, and they're not very good. I know that. But I love the editing. And so, yeah, the lunch video, if I watched it, I would want to edit it. And it's become a thing that the lunch videos have to be unedited, so I don't watch them. And I didn't really have time. I was hoping to get the lunch video out today, get it over and done with, get it out there after the Christmas break, start the new year off with a bang. It will go out tomorrow, and I will watch it once it's been uploaded and probably cringe. Yeah. Happy birthday all, says Jimmy. Harry's Ferrari stroke Lamborghini was the car that Top Gear Flintoff or McGuinness crashed. I don't know anything about that. Which car was it? Ferrari stroke Lamborghini. Can anybody tell me? I know nothing about the Top Gear crash or who it was or what car it was. Oh, Barry says I could fix the other things apart from the dent and the fact it's not running. Boaty says, Skip, you should ask Mustard what goes through his mind when buying these cars. Saving them. That's what goes through his mind. He can't bear to see a car that could be saved go to scrap. And I love that about him. And that's why I would never try and change it. I think it's admirable. I really think it's admirable. Um, it is. It's a really admirable thing. It's giving a shit about the unloved, and that's why I love Nigel so much, because Nigel is the epitome of what Mustard believes in: the underdog and giving love to that which has not been loved for a long, long time. So I'm not going to knock him for that. And it might not make the best business in the world, but it gets him good footage, good content for his videos. It pleases him. And I'm totally on board with it. They should be saved. And no way on earth, I'm not going to ask him what goes through his mind. I know what goes through his mind, and I applaud him for it. And I'm delighted and proud to be part of it. I would just like to add to it by doing a few of my sort of cars and doing them my way. But that's down to me, isn't it? I can't say to anybody else, I need to get my insurance sorted. I need to get my arse in gear. The unknown banker I know will be on board. And then I can buy a couple of cars and sort them from here and make some money for the company, make some money for the unknown banker, make some money from Mustard and start pulling my weight instead of just rocking up to the yard once a week, having lunch and looking at all the work that he's done over the past 6 days and complaining about a car. Harry's XJC was manually converted pre-restoration. Okay. That excuses it a bit. You might be coming in the Freelander to meet me, says Cheeseburger, but you won't get home in it. We'll see. Oh, we're 4 months behind on YouTube down here, says Ross. Oh, okay. Skick says, Clarkson did say in one of his videos that a Freelander is better off-road than a Range Rover. He did. Better than a Range Rover and better than a Discovery. And when he was road testing a Freelander, and this is a Freelander 1, he had to use it to rescue the Range Rover that the film crew were in. So the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Freelanders are awesome off-road, absolutely awesome. Oh, and Stephen S. Paul is confirming that Harry's Jag was converted by the previous owner. Freelanders to me are a bit of a girly hairdresser's car, says Skick. Not in my mind. Are you going to go? It's my birthday and Babe Station is on. Boaty started the YouTube channel because he was lonely, says Jimmy. So he went to a travel. Oh, God almighty. Oh, McGuinness crashed Harry's Diablo. I didn't know Harry had a Diablo. Nigel is the best rover in the world. Flintoff's crash is now on YouTube. Crikey was basically driving a motorised go-kart in the ground head first. Dear me. Gosh. Right. Okay. That's it, darlings. Thank you so much for your company. I've got no idea what we're going to call this one. I've forgotten about any of the suggested video titles. I'm getting a bit peckish now. Thank you for all of your love for James, the beautiful Freelander. And I agree with you all. He is probably the best car that we've ever bought. and he was worth every penny of the £1,150 that we paid for him. Oh yes. Okay, darlings, have yourselves a peace and safeful night. Fucking hell, the wine's gone down, hasn't it? Have a safe and peaceful night, darlings. Many happy returns of the day to our birthday boys, Cheeseburger and Skick. And you two have a great birthday. The rest of you have a fabulous day. Take care of yourselves. Thoughts and love to John, of course. And all of you, have a safe and peaceful night. Knock that heating up to 19. Why not? Go mad. Night all. Nice to see my birthday in with you. Oh, that's very sweet, Cheeseburger. And do tune into the YouTube tomorrow for a really boring daily diary, which I apologise for, and a lunch video, which I might need to apologise for. Let me know what you think. All right, darlings. Catch you tomorrow, same time, same place, 11 o'clock for Thursday night. Oh, the bins go out tomorrow. How exciting is that? All right, darlings. Good night. God bless. Much love. See you tomorrow.